Hello, everyone. This is my immigrant diary.
So there is more like a list that have been circulating online about the next Trump's travel ban. This is something I know that you personally find interesting because I remember you were still in Nigeria when that happened, when the
Yes.
first travel ban happened.
Yep, the first
So
travel ban in Trump's first term. I was in Nigeria at the time, and Nigeria was on the list.
yes.
That ban contributed to the delay in my moving to the US. Yes, I remember very, very clearly.
And if I remember correctly, the ban particularly wasn't targeting those who are trying to immigrate or emigrate out of Nigeria to the US. But the issue with that is that there's always a lot of administrative changes when it concerns these kinds of things. And then it can slow a lot of the processes that is already going on in different countries. It wasn't targeting you, but as a side effect, you still felt it
Yeah, of course,
regardless.
Trump wasn't targeting me. But yeah, you're right. Because what happens is, when there's a travel ban, like you said, there are some changes in the administration at the time. And so it just kind of slows things down generally, because I know at that time there was also COVID to contend with. As a result of COVID, there was a lot of backlog. And so we're having a ban just before COVID. I think it
Yeah.
was before COVID, the ban.
Yeah,
So there was a
before
ban.
COVID, yeah.
Then COVID happened. So it just spilled and just created backlog. Even till this day, I don't think they've ever fully recovered the backlog in the US Embassy consulate in Lagos, Nigeria. But at least that I know, they've not fully or really recovered the time period. Because usually, if you're filing for a fiancé visa or you're filing for a permanent residency application, depending on the category, if you're looking at CR1 or IR1, it should usually take around 6 months before the ban. It would take 6 months for you to get an approval on your I-130. Then it will take about another 3 months for you to get approval on the visa processing part. So give or take, it used to take about 10 months, 9 months to 11 months, even from Nigeria. I know in Europe, probably it takes you about 4 months, but in Nigeria it's about 9 months. But
Yeah.
with the ban that happened and COVID, right now it's taking people 2 to 3 years sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I think I believe that it happened. That happened. But do you remember the reasons that Trump administration gave then? I know that for a lot of the Muslim countries that there were a lot of security concerns. But what were the reasons why they included Nigeria in the ban the first time?
So it's a good thing Nigeria is not on the list right now. So last time Nigeria was on the list, it was because of two main things. One was reciprocity, which is like they say, do me, I do you.
Yeah.
So it's like you treat us in a particular way, we treat you in a particular way. Because pay X for visa will make you pay X for visa as well, something like that. So reciprocity was one of the reasons, and the second reason was that I think the US required Nigeria to share data. The data being shared back and forth was also meeting the standard or the expectation of the US side, because security was a concern given the fact that there were some tourist activity in a small part of the north in Nigeria. And so at that time, they were like, you know what, we want to be able to know who is coming through Nigeria at the time. I think that's just something around that data sharing for a fact.
Yeah, so that's something we're getting a little bit into the list now. Like right now, Nigeria is not in the list, so we are, that's that's really good news.
Yes.
And this is something I would say that I don't say often, but I'm proud of Nigerian officials that were really able to sort that out as soon as possible. So right now, it's not a problem we have to worry about. But there are some interesting countries on the list. I would say that apart from the Muslim countries, which is understandable because of the security reasons, if it still maintains those concerns that he had the first time, whether it's violence act against Americans, whether it's here or abroad, or even, persecutions towards people that hold American values. So I would say that, we can debate those ones are reasonable to a very good extent, but there are some countries that I would not expect to be there. One of them is Bhutan. Maybe a lot of people might not be familiar with Bhutan, but Bhutan is one of these countries that a lot of people would love to go to. It's a highly sought after tourism country. That's kind of like the knowledge I've always heard about. It's a beautiful place to go. If you go there, you're going to enjoy nature. They are very, very big on the environment. So a lot of things that has to do with nature, they maintain it very, very well. So it's almost like the vegetation there has always been there for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, that they've been maintaining that place. So a lot of people like to go there for those reasons, to be a little bit close to Mother Nature. And you're still a tourist, you still want to enjoy yourself. But the best hypothesis that I have about that is that it probably also has to do with the reciprocity, just like with Nigeria, because not everyone can go to Bhutan. Even if you're American, it doesn't mean that they're just going to admit you just like that. So I think that that's probably one of the reasons why they might be there.
Yeah, I want to add to that. I agree with you that reciprocity is one of the major things, because if you make it difficult for Americans to be able to visit your country, America will also make it difficult for you to visit America. So that's just one of the aspects of reciprocity. If you're asking us, if you increase the visa fee, then the US will also increase its visa fee on your citizens. So yeah.
Something that I read online, I'm not sure if I have the link here or if I'll post the link later, is that Bhutan actually charges around $200 per day per person, or something like that.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but I think it includes a lot of things. When I looked at the breakdown of the cost, I don't think it was that bad, but the fact that they actually force you to pay that thing per day, I think that's something I found interesting about Bhutan. Another country that I've never heard about, and I still don't know about, is called St. Kitts and Nevis.
Oh, really? It's an island.
I don't know about them.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're on the list, but they're also there. Right now, we should be clear that the list is just strictly speculatory. But again, like Trump has done this in his first time. So for me, if he comes out to say he wants to do this again, I won't be surprised. But so far, he has not spoken about that. Even pre his election, he never spoke about anything about that. But this is something that I think that people should keep in mind. So what do you think about it, Precious?
You've said it all, because I think that if your country is listed there and you're currently in process, you got to move fast. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Very soon, I'm sure Trump is going to sign the executive order on this. He's going to just pass it and he's going to move forward. But definitely sure Trump is going to do it. If you're from any of the countries, especially from Africa, my people, please, put in your applications, just set this in motion and we'll see what happens,
Yeah, I will leave the link to the places I will find it online, also news articles for you to also go check it out yourself. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you all for joining us today. If you've been listening up to this point, please like, share our video, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us to be able to grow. We are still young. We have gotten over, I think, 130 subscribers now. Maybe we'll cut that down. But anyway,
we'll cut that out. It's a little bit further, but it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Cheers.